first. President Donald Trump, he wrote on Truth Social, saying in part, President Putin of Russia doesn't want to have a ceasefire agreement with Ukraine, but rather wants to meet on Thursday in Turkey to negotiate a possible end to the bloodbath. Ukraine should agree to this immediately.
The Kremlin says that it needs a truce that will lead to a lasting peace. America's listening to Fox News.
Stay on top of the latest forecast with America's Weather Team in the palm of your hands.
Here's the latest from America's Weather Center.
It's Fox weather updates throughout your busy day, every day.
That heat's going to be out there for one more day.
Temperatures being 30 degrees above average.
Put the power of over 100 meteorologists and the worldwide resources of Fox in your hands with the Fox Weather Podcast. Precise, personal, powerful. Subscribe and listen now at foxnewspodcasts.com. Connect to Fox News Audio on the Fox News app. Listen to hear your favorite hosts like Brian Kilmeade, Jimmy Fallon, and Guy Benson standing up for what's right, live and via podcast. Just click listen, then swipe right and hear the latest news updates on your time. And scroll down to hear the latest podcasts from Fox News. And it's even easier to listen in the car with Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. Get programming alerts and notifications. Fox News Audio is on the Fox News app. The voices America trusts. Download it now.
Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent spent the weekend negotiating with the Chinese and Switzerland, hoping to make progress on a trade deal to alleviate the tariff standoff between the two countries. President Trump has touted progress as a, quote, deal. U.S. Trade Representative Jamieson Greer speaking optimistically Sunday.
Very constructive 2 days. It's important to understand how quickly we were able to come to agreement, which reflects that perhaps the differences were not so large as maybe thought.
Bessent said any details on a potential deal would not be announced until Monday. President Trump has set the current tariff on imported Chinese goods at 145%, while China is charging 125% for U.S. goods. President Trump is promising a drop of 30 to 80% in drug prices. Fox's Jill Nato reports.
The president posted on Truth Social Sunday, drug prices in the U.S. are sometimes 5 to 10 times more expensive than they are in other countries. President Trump said he's going to be signing an executive order to cut drug prices. He said, I will be instituting a most favored nations policy whereby the United States will pay the same price as the nation that pays the lowest price anywhere in the world. Former President Biden had issued an order in 2022 for Medicare to lower prescription drug costs, but President Trump reversed that order back in January. In Washington, Jill Nato, Fox News.
House Republicans releasing a portion of President Donald Trump's tax agenda on Friday, bringing them one step closer to completing the president's big, beautiful bill. New York GOP Congresswoman Claudia Tenney tells Fox's Sunday Morning Features with Maria Bartiromo there's still a lot of work to do.
Parts of the bill aren't in. They're going to be coming in as amendments. So this is going to be a long, arduous process. Everybody knows that. But we're going to be fighting to make sure we do what the most important thing is. We need to get immediate results for the American people and growth.
I'm Deborah Valentine. This is Fox News.
Big news, Guam! Japan Airlines is celebrating an incredible 55 years of service to Guam this October. They're thrilled to continue their daily flights connecting you to the vibrant city of Tokyo. To celebrate this milestone, they have an amazing promotion for travel from Guam to Tokyo. Book your flights before the end of May, with travel dates in June departing from Guam. Log on to Japan Airlines' official website to avail of these low rates. Don't miss out on this fantastic opportunity.
Half a day. Kim Anderson from Security Title here to share some behind-the-scenes functions of a title company. First, we search the chain of title to property, and when a critical link is missing, we work with the owners to correct their ownership. When it comes to a sale, we work closely with realtors and lenders to ensure a smooth closing. Finally, we back up our work with a title insurance policy that guarantees the buyer they actually own the property. Security Title has the management of real estate closings down to a science. Give us a call. We are here to help.
Boss 104, The Point, Star 101, and Lotte Hotel Guam present the 2025 Island Wedding Expo. Mark the date, Saturday, June 14th. Join us as we showcase an abundance of elegant choices for your special day. Table spaces are now available, but hurry, they're filling up. If you're a business that caters to all things weddings, from coordinators, florists, cakes, photographers, and more, call 888-7346 and connect with Doris, Shanzi, Daryl, or Michelle. For more information about the 2025 Island Wedding Expo, call 888-RDIO, 888-7346. Listen to The Point anytime, anywhere on Odyssey. Odyssey is your new audio home for all the music, news, sports, and podcasts that matter to you. Find your favorite stations like The Point and discover more. Music stations, local and trusted news sources, sports talk and team coverage, plus today's biggest podcasts. Find it all on the Odyssey app. AUDACY.
It is 1607 hours, time for Veterans with Benefits. Today, your host is Anthony Tyrone.
Half a day, everyone. Welcome back. Today, I'm flying solo, so we're going to have as much fun as we can. Miss Karina's not with us today, but I'm sure you're all going to miss her. And we have our producer here to back me up with whatever it is that I'm going to need.
I will hold your hand.
Thank you. And I'm usually the guy that just sits back and watches everything get taken care of. But today I have the honors of doing all the work. So I think before we start, right, first you're listening to 93.3. Veterans with Benefits. Again, I'm Anthony, and our producer is Jose Martinez, and you will be listening to our special guest later on. We'll have him talk about who he is and what he does. In the meantime, we first got to start off with thanking our sponsors, Ambrose Inc., Hebzibah Family Medical Clinic, American Legion Post 1, Master Blasters, 11Z's back here behind the studio. If you can remember to go there. They also have another store in the mall, and we get 11% discount if you are a veteran or a service member. Domino's Pizza, they usually sponsor our Veteran of the Week every week, so that's them. We have JTC Services. We have the Most Services. And then, of course, we have HMI. So I think the next piece we're going to go into is we're going to have our producer use his lovely voice to tell us who our Veteran of the Week is.
Happy to do so, sir.
Thank you.
Veteran of the Week is Master Chief Stephen Jones. Master Chief Petty Officer Jones hails from Port Jervis, New York. He enlisted in the United States Navy on August 2nd, 1994, and completed both recruit training and airman apprentice school at Naval Training Center Great Lakes in Illinois. Upon graduation, he reported to his first ship, the USS Enterprise, and in November 1994. Master Chief Jones' sea duty assignments includes the USS Enterprise, the USS Heron, the USS Raven, the USS Falcon, and his final sea duty was aboard the USS George H.W. Bush as a 3M maintenance coordinator. He has seen multiple deployments to the Indian Ocean, Arabian Gulf, Mediterranean Sea, the Black Sea, and Red Sea, with operations and port visits in both the northern and southern hemispheres. In addition, he deployed multiple times to the Arabian Gulf in support of Operation Desert Fox, Operation Enduring Freedom, and Operation Iraqi Freedom, as well as participated in humanitarian efforts in response to Hurricane Katrina in 2005. Ashore, Master Chief Jones served as the Retail Ordnance Logistics Management System Administrator at NAS Brunswick, Submarine-Launched Mobile Mine Technician at Mobile Mine Assembly, Unit 8 Guam, the Fleet Liaison for Mining and UAV Technologies at Naval Service Warfare Center in Panama City Beach, and Senior Enlisted Advisor for Navy Munitions Command, East Asia Division. Master Chief Jones is designated as an enlisted service warfare specialist and enlisted aviation warfare specialist. He has been awarded the Meritorious Service Medal twice, the Navy and Marine Corps Commendation Medal, Navy and Marine Corps Achievement Medal, and Good Conduct Award, Military Outstanding Volunteer Service Medal, National Defense Service Medal, Global War on Terrorism Medal, Global War on Terrorism Expeditionary Medal, and numerous unit service and campaign awards. He received his BA in Criminal Justice from St. Leo University and his Master's of Arts in Homeland Security and Master of Science in Sports and Health Sciences from American Military University. He has been married over 25 years to his wife Lisa, and they have one son. He is currently serving as a Navy Junior Reserve Officer Training Corps instructor at Father Duenas Memorial School. In keeping with the program's vision of citizenship and giving back to the community, his cadets have contributed over 4,000 service hours for the current school year. The military teaches you many things, including patience, integrity, honor, and selflessness. Utilizing those tools, he is able to lead and mentor not only his cadets, but all the students at Father Duenas Memorial School as they make their journey through high school and prepare themselves for the next journey upon graduation. Please thank him for his service and let us honor Master Chief Stephen Jones.
Yay. Congratulations, Master Chief. Be sure you head over to Domino's. Be sure you talk to Dane and get that pizza. And like I always say, if you're not going to get it to me and I'll take care of that pizza for you. So Dane will be the gentleman to talk to. He's the guy in charge over there at Domino's, and he always takes care of our Veteran of the Week. We sincerely appreciate that. Thank you also to Miss Tish Borja from the Red Cross. She usually puts together the listing of our Veterans of the Week. So anybody who's interested in becoming a Veteran of the Week, be sure you reach out to her, reach out to us, and we'll get it to her and get us your bio, and we could get you on here to get your free pizza, number one, but more importantly, to recognize you and your service. So thank you all for what you do, and thank you to our Veteran of the Week. Okay, now I think this is my part that they normally let me do, which is to read the tip of the week. Hey, here we go. Let's see. Tip of the week. Eligibility for VA healthcare for family members. Family members are not eligible for full VA healthcare benefits by default, but they may qualify for specific programs. The most common programs include CHAMP VA, which stands for Civilian Health and Medical Program of the Department of Veterans Affairs. Under the authority 38 CFR subsection 17.270-17.278. Manual reference M21-1, Part 3, Subpart III, Chapter 6, Section A. So CHAMP VA provides cost-sharing medical coverage for spouses and dependent children if the veteran meets one of the following criteria. Rated 100% permanently and totally disabled due to service-connected conditions, died from a service-connected condition, was rated 100% permanent and total at the time of death, or died while on active duty and not due to misconduct. Application process. Complete VA Form 10-10D. Include copies of marriage certificate, birth certificates, or proof of dependency. Sent to CHAMP VA Eligibility Center in Denver, Colorado, listed in the form. More info on CHAMP VA website. This is something that is not very common here on island, but if you are a veteran and you meet that criteria, you need to reach out to some of our healthcare providers to see if they can take CHAMP VA. So TRICARE. If the veteran is retired military, not just VA rated, their family may qualify for TRICARE through Department of Defense, not VA. TRICARE offers extensive coverage, including pharmacy, vision, and dental under some plans. Managed by the Defense Health Agency, DHA. Eligibility managed via DEER's Defense Enrollment Eligibility Reporting System. TRICARE is not governed by 38 CFR, but is a major option for military retirees and their families. 3, VA Caregiver Program. VA Caregiver Support Program for family caregivers. Authority is 38 USC, subsection 1720 Golf, and 38 CFR, subsection 71.20-71.50. Manual reference M21-1, Part V, Part 5, Subpart III, Chapter 1. This program supports primary and secondary family caregivers of post 9/11 and now pre-1975 veterans who have serious service-connected injuries, require in-home personal care services. Benefits include stipend payments, access to health care through CHAMP VA for caregivers who are not otherwise eligible, respite care, mental health services. Application process. Veteran and caregiver must apply using VA Form 1010 Charlie Golf. Involves a clinical assessment and training. More info can be found at the VA Caregiver Support. Spina bifida. I think they are trying to test my ability to read these terms.
That sounded good.
Thank you. And certain birth defects program. Authority 38 CFR subsection 17.900-17.905 for children of veterans exposed to Agent Orange or who served in Korea near the DMZ. Covered individuals may receive monthly monetary allowance, vocational training, comprehensive health care. Summary table, program, eligible members. So CHAMP VA, the eligible family members are spouses, dependent, and children. Key requirement, veteran is 100% permanent and total or died from service-connected condition, and the benefits are health insurance style coverage. For TRICARE, the eligible members are spouses, children, and spouses, children of retired military. The key requirements, you have to be military retired, and the benefit is comprehensive health, dental, vision. For caregiver program, you have to be eligible, you have to be a family caregiver of a disabled veteran. You have to have serious service-connected injuries, and the stipend plus CHAMP VA plus support. And lastly, spina bifida. So to be eligible, you have to be children of certain veterans. Key requirements are area of operation Korea exposure and full healthcare coverage. Okay, so that's our tip of the week. I hope everyone enjoyed hearing that. Now, let's see. On my list to do is I need to say hello to my mom. I know I sent her a message yesterday saying Happy Mother's Day. It's still Mother's Day out there in some places in the United States. And I wanted to say hello to Knox and Aaliyah. Okay, we're going to do a little recap of last week, Boot Camp 41. So we had boot camp in Talafofo. It was Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. For those of you that didn't make it, and for the mayors that are listening out there from the other villages, we needed to tell you that Mayor Taidagui had beef shank for dinner. So if you are a mayor that's going to be hosting the next boot camp, just consider the fact that we had beef shank this last boot camp. So
no pressure.
No pressure. Mayor Taidagui was laughing about it. And by the way, he served it on 2 nights. So you are being really challenged. So, you know, that beef shank was pretty darn good. amongst other things that we had some, what do you call it, really authentic Mexican food that was cooked for us as well. So you'll find all that on our on the chat group. But yeah, we had a pretty good showing on the, what do you call it, on that boot camp. It was packed house. We were able to use the Jeremy Newby facility, and in that facility, the aircon is now repaired, so it wasn't as hot as it was before. So that's an upgrade. We appreciate that. I'm sure our veterans do too. So we will be able to use that anytime for any of our future boot camps, according to Mayor Taidagui. So for those of you listening out there, at some point in the future, we'll probably make our way back down there again. Okay, salute to services. Myself and my our guest here were both there at the Agana Shopping Center, and during that boot camp, during that event, we met quite a few veterans down there. A lot of them came by to the booth and said hello. Of course, we had all our team down there. We had Chris and Frank Taidagui. We had Miss Edith Mesa. Of course, we had Charlie stop by. We had the Chargoloffs, John Chargoloff and Miss Regina there. We also had, oh man, I'm going to mess up everybody's name. Mr. Okazaki was there helping us. Joe Ramos, Dave Hopkins stopped by. So, quite a bit of people down there. That was the first event that the Agana Shopping Center hosted. So we wanted to say thank you to Cinda, and I think we'll continue to do that. Oh, I forgot to mention Mela. She came by with a donation for our upcoming golf tournament. Since we have that on my mind, May 24th, we're going to be at the formerly known Talafofo Golf Resort. It is now the Sono Felice, I think is what it's called now. So that's going to be on May 24th. Start time is 11:30. Shotgun start is 12:30. We're also going to be doing a drone drop. So for those of you that are actually golfers, avid golfers, we invite you to come out and join. The proceeds will go towards helping more of our veterans at our boot camps, and it's also to help us to continue to take care of our veterans as it relates to their empowering them to own their claim and get out there and do that. So it's going to be the second annual golf ball drop. It's a fundraiser. There's going to be 250 balls. They're $25 a piece. And the winner who's closest to the hole is going to win $1,000 cash. So that's not bad of an investment of $25 to get a $1,000 prize. So it's the closest to the pin or to the hole is going to be the winner of the $1,000. So this was the first ever done by HMI at the Talafofo Golf Resort. We're going to do it again. It was pretty fun. So if you're looking for a way to, support our veterans and have a good time, Charlie Hermosa and Bella Wings are going to be putting their drone capabilities on display and help us to raise some funds. And in the process, you could win the $1,000 prize. So get out there, get a hold of Miss Norma and anyone from HMI and try to get your purchase your ball for your chance to win $1,000. Okay. All right, man, that's a lot of stuff. No wonder why I don't do this part. Miss Karina needs to get back to work, man. Are we paying her while she's gone? No?
Do we pay her now?
Well, I don't know. She better get back to work soon. My goodness. This is a lot of work. I know this is talk radio, but I'm running out of breath here. Okay.
You're doing just great.
Thank you. Our next boot camp is going to be June 10, 11, and 12 at at the Assen Mayor's office. So that's usually 5:30 at night to about 8:30 at night. So if you haven't signed up, get signed up. There's usually a QR code that's out there. If not, reach out to any of us at our email, veterans.hmiguam@gmail.com, or you can, give us a call, 671-682-7631. That's Miss Karina's number. We don't want her to miss us out here, so while she's out in training, we'll put a little bit more pressure on her. So she's got work to do. She better hurry. You don't just get to leave to training and expect that nobody's going to do your work. Oh, my gosh. Is she a millennial, Jose?
She acts like one, right?
Exactly.
I have a question.
Yes, sir.
On the flyer here, you have TBA for July. You haven't decided a location yet?
For July. Oh, my gosh. I'm not sure. I think Miss Karina said, is that going to be in Jigo? I think July might be in Jigo.
Okay.
Because August is going to be, that's our symposium.
UOG.
Yeah, and that's going to be at UOG thanks to the president. She wanted us to take a look at doing it up there at UOG again. So they were very supportive, and we enjoy working up there. So, yeah, July, I think, is supposed to be Jigo.
And that date's still firm, the 8th through the
10th? We're usually doing the second week of the month.
So June 10th through the 12th is at the Assen Mayor's office.
Yes, sir.
July 8th through the 10th is going to be in Jigo. Not sure where, though? Like the Jigo gym, maybe?
Usually when we do it in Jigo, the mayor had us up there at the senior citizens.
Yeah, that makes sense, too.
Yeah, so that's where we did it.
Yeah.
All right.
We're
going to need to start getting you on board for the HMI boot camps.
I'm here for you, Anthony.
I know you are. I really appreciate that. So anyway, let's see. So we're about to get in. Yeah, let's get into, we'll have Mr., a man who needs no introduction. So let's have our guest introduce himself, and we'll get him started.
Okay. Off a day, everybody. Off a day, Anthony. Thank you for having me here.
Of course, anytime.
So, I thought I'd share something about our accessible van transportation service.
Okay. And I didn't get your name.
Ben
because you
Servino.
don't need no introduction, right?
We're going to do that.
Okay.
I'm not as pretty as Karina, but I'll try to.
Well, you do have nice hair, though.
Okay.
Okay,
anyway,
go ahead.
So, I've been in the disability arena for years.
Yes, I'm aware. You are a huge, I would say, founder, huge advocate, really just making that happen. So you're awesome.
Yeah, and when I retired from the government of Guam, I decided to open this business because my mother was in a wheelchair.
Okay.
And it was really difficult to transfer her from a wheelchair to the car,
right,
transport her to a medical appointment. And I felt really guilty that I wasn't able to do that. And
okay.
Being in the disability field, I felt helpless.
Right.
So, to address the need of having good, reliable, affordable transportation services, I decided to open this company, and we're now in our second year.
Congratulations.
This month is thank you.
Oh, this month
yeah.
even. So are we going to have a big fiesta at your house or at the office?
We can have it anywhere. We can party here, too.
Okay, yeah.
But anyways.
Congratulations on that.
Thank you.
2 years. We're
very happy and proud to be here for 2 years.
Okay.
We are a non-emergency medical transportation service.
Okay.
So we're not like the ambulance service. We don't take gurneys.
Right.
We just transport people in wheelchairs to their medical appointments, their dialysis appointments. And, we're 24/7. We operate 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Oh, wow.
And our model is providing independence, inclusion, and integration within the community. So
right.
we want to try to get more people on the community. And, this kind of work is very gratifying for our drivers. And, we operate on holidays and weekends, after hours, before hours. We've even picked up passengers at 3 o'clock in the morning to take them to the airport for their medical appointment. One of our first passengers was a veteran that had to fly out to Menlo Park.
Okay.
So he can go in for his treatment.
Right.
So we picked him up at 3 o'clock in Meningan, took him over to the airport, and he was very happy that he had that opportunity to be transported safely, and our response time is very quick.
All right, and when we talk about a veteran, you just recently got what do you call it? You just recently got what did you call it earlier?
Vendorized.
Vendorized.
Yes.
I like that term. So we'll start using that. But
Yes.
but yeah, so you just started getting vendorized by the VA. So you want to talk a little bit about that?
Sure. In fact, we were just informed that my application was approved, and
very good.
We received funding for the transportation services for vendors.
Awesome.
I mean, for the veterans. Through the Guam Veterans Transportation Service.
Okay.
I actually have a flyer. You've probably seen their buses going around the island.
Yes,
the
and
VA
I
buses.
think we're posting it on the Facebook site.
Right.
So and yeah, so you're saying that's you're complementing that bus ride, right? Because
Absolutely.
that's for like more people.
Right.
But this particular one that you're doing is it just one person at a time you can take?
Yes, door to door.
Door to door. Okay.
And their hours again are Monday through Friday, 7:30 to 4.
Right.
We pick them up after 4 or before 7:30.
Oh, I see.
And they don't operate on holidays, and
Right.
we do.
Okay.
So that's the advantage of using us, and that's why they wanted to vendorize us, so that again they can accommodate the needs of the veterans.
All right. And
The veterans need to be authorized for their medical appointments.
Okay.
And they have to be registered with the CBOC. So, and then they can call this number 671-475-5833 for any scheduling appointments.
Okay, and what we'll do is we'll go over that when we get back from the break, right? So you're listening to The Point 93.3. If you'd like to call in, the number is 671-888-8255, and this is Veterans with Benefits, and I'm Anthony.
Okay, what's BP Smart Pay?
So it uses your smartphone to pay when shopping at the grocery store, mall, or wherever they accept contactless payments.
Restaurants too?
Yep.
Okay, how?
It's easy. Go to your wallet on your smartphone and enter your Bank Pacific Visa debit card, and presto, your smartphone is now Smart Pay ready.
BP Smart Pay. I like it.
Bank Pacific. Brothers put branches, we place roots for over 70 years. Member FDIC.
Ah, what perfect happiness awaits in Baja Bliss Collection. 2 all-new subs with Subway signature Baja Chipotle sauce. Satisfy your bold flavor cravings with Baja Chipotle chicken. Tasty rotisserie-style chicken slathered with creamy cheddar cheese sauce, freshly sliced veggies, jalapeno peppers for heat, and a swirl of Baja Chipotle sauce. Not to be missed is the Baja Chipotle turkey. Tender, juicy layers of turkey and pepper jack cheese tucked in a blanket of fresh veggies, sub crunch, and Baja Chipotle sauce on toasted artisan Italian bread. The Baja Bliss Collection is here only for a limited time at Subway. You gotta refresh to be fresh.
Boss, I got run over by a forklift.
Boss, I crashed a company truck.
What do we do? Our warehouse and inventory are gone.
Hi, this is Dave Silva from AB Risk Solutions, and it's time for Risk 101. Everything you just heard are examples of risk your businesses can face. Our job is to ask the hard what-if questions and teach you how to reduce your exposures and help you recover if things go sideways. We've got decades of experience in Micronesia working with businesses big and small. Call AB Risk Solutions today at 777-2668 for a free inspection and quote.
AB Risk Solutions, formerly known as Aon.
And we're back. So we don't have the luxury of me looking into our other social media. So if you're listening out there, thank you. You're listening to Veterans with Benefits. I'm Anthony, and this is 93.3, and we're on The Point. And we have our guest, Mr. Ben Servino, with his accessible van transportation services. That's correct.
AVTS for
Okay.
sure.
All right. So I think we were talking a little bit about, before we went on break, we were talking about veterans being able to go through their appointments. And you were saying that you can take them to the appointments, not just at the CBOC, but authorized medical VA appointments.
That's correct.
Okay. All right. That's really good. Now, we were also talking about how many vans do you have?
Currently, we have 3 vans.
Okay,
Two
very good.
vans are equipped with kneelers, that are hydraulic kneelers that
Okay.
bring the van down.
Yes.
And then they have side ramps that automatically open up and fold out. So the steepness of the ramp is not that steep. It can go on board really easy.
Okay.
And then we have securement Q straps, securement tie downs for them, so
Oh,
they're
okay.
properly secured.
When they're sitting in there.
That's correct. And again, we do have the seat belts.
All right. Okay. And you know, when we're talking about that, right? This is something, because a lot of these folks, you know, require like a special type of vehicle to transport them because of the, what do you call it? The wheelchair and getting into a vehicle, right?
That's
so
correct.
otherwise, without this kind of vehicle, they would have to get out of their wheelchair, get into the car. Somebody's going to have to take the wheelchair and put it in the car, get to the place, offload again, get the wheelchair out, and then get back into the wheelchair to get moving again.
That's correct.
Okay.
And, you know, a lot of them are very fearful of falling.
Okay.
Family members are transferring their elderly parents or a veteran. They're very fearful of injuring themselves or even the passenger. you know?
Yes, and this is what you talked about earlier, because you had a hard time because it was your mom that needed to be moved around, and I had a similar experience when you know, I had to do that for my dad. Now back then I was able-bodied and pretty strong, and I'm still fairly able-bodied and not as strong, but you know, because I am getting up there in age. I think I fall into the senior citizen category these days. Anyway, but it is a chore and a task to try to lift somebody up and put them, you know, on a chair, for that matter, put them on a wheelchair, move them anywhere. So that's tough enough as it is, right? And you'd imagine that in this day and age, with all the technology and all the things that we have, moving a person from one place to another, or even from a seated position into a wheelchair, is not that easy.
Nope.
Yeah.
And there's some vehicles actually that are designed to have their chair, you know, come out outside the door and then come down. It's all hydraulic.
Oh, okay.
So they can just get off their wheelchair and move to the chair, then it brings them back up into the vehicle.
Yeah, and I think there's the really fancy ones, right, where the wheelchair almost stands up, right?
Oh, yes.
Right, and then it adjusts. So those are so some technology is coming to us, right? And they do quite a few things. But in the meantime, I think earlier we were talking about wheelchair accessibility, right? And a lot of times, right, I don't believe that folks just do it just because they don't want to, you know, follow the law. I think a lot of it is lack of understanding, or we're not paying attention to it. And it's important that we discuss this, because when you were telling me this, right, you said the ramp's got to be a certain height, and you told me why it's got to be that way. Explain to me why it's got to be a certain height again.
So, you know, we're finding a lot of times when we take passengers to the health clinics,
Yeah.
the health clinics themselves are not accessible.
Okay.
The parking is not designed
Right.
for easy access for people to get unloaded,
Right.
and the ramp is not wide enough.
Right.
You know, and then we have problems with parking itself. The signage is not properly mounted on a post.
Right.
So we do a lot of advocacy, and we talk to the owners of the building or
Right.
the managers and say, you know, we'd like to recommend that you eliminate this barrier. And if you need help, we'll provide you some guidance. And here's the website, www.ada.gov.
Right.
And it'll tell you exactly what you need to know. The slope can't be greater. You know, it's a 1 to 12 slope, so you can't have it too high.
And tell me again why we can't have it that high. Because if it's too high, what happens?
A lot of times people don't realize. I've gone to places where they've got a ramp coming from the door.
Yeah.
And people are trying to get in the door, but gravity is pulling them back, and they can't actually pull the door open because gravity, the force of gravity is pushing them back. They don't have enough energy to open the door.
Because
so
of-
it's the slope.
It's
You
the
can't
slope.
have a slope on the entrance of a door. It's got to be flat.
And
the same level as the entrance, the interior floor.
Right.
So that when they go in, it's easy to get in. And it's got to have a 5-foot turning radius in the front so the
Okay.
wheelchair can turn around.
But there was one more thing you told me about it. What happens if it's too high?
Yeah, they can actually flip backwards.
And that's even more dangerous,
Yeah.
right? So you see, right? I mean, when we talk about just going up and down, right? There's no real. It's the aggravation and the inability to open the door
That's
versus when you go up something and you flip, you end up hurting yourself.
That's right.
Right, and it could be very dangerous for those that are in wheelchairs. Now, I think you and I discussed this also, right? We learned so much just talking to you about this, right? So people may say, hey, but you know what? Whoever's taking them can just help them navigate that. But tell me again why that doesn't apply.
Because if you think about ADA, the Americans with Disabilities Act, that's a civil rights law. It's not a building code law.
Right.
It's a civil rights act. So you don't discriminate against people with disabilities. They want to be independent.
That's
they
the
want to
key,
be able
right?
to go in by themselves. They don't need anybody to help them.
Right.
They want to be treated like everybody else.
Yes.
You know?
And that's why when we're talking about these things are designed for that purpose,
That's
right?
correct.
And I don't think anything that we're talking about is here to point fingers at somebody. It's more to educate and say, hey, just think about it. What if that were us, temporarily, and we were trying to navigate that and we flipped and hurt ourselves? That wouldn't be nice. Imagine if it was, our elderly parents or our family members, right, that are in that. Then it starts to really hit home and say, hey, we really got to take care of that, right? And I noticed that even when we were talking, we were like, well, how do we fix that? Or why isn't this done, right? And it's a lot of it could be education, staying on top of these laws that are in existence. And I think, right, majority of these are from DPW at the moment, right, that has to enforce some of this?
That's correct. Because they're the ones that issue the occupancy permit.
Right.
They're the ones that do the inspections.
Right.
But, they're, again, the manpower is not there. So they can't do everything, but still, they need to do this.
Are there like grants for things like this that might, you know what I mean? If we need to get these things fixed, right? Is there something maybe considering Doge today, maybe we could borrow some of that money they found somewhere and use that to help improve our need. And when we talk about that, right, we're talking about individuals with disabilities, right? Veterans fall into that category. So it's important for us as veterans also to consider that could be me one day because of my disabilities, or it could be existing veterans who have those disabilities and need to navigate, and be independent. So,
when I used to be the director of DISIT, I used to have an annual event called A Day in a Life.
Okay.
And you take on a disability.
Oh, wow.
So I always encourage business owners, business managers, property managers, get on a wheelchair and try to navigate through your building and see how difficult it is. Once you experience that, you know what the individual in a wheelchair is experiencing.
Right.
But there's not just on the individuals with disability. There are other people who are visually impaired or blind, people who are hard of hearing or deaf.
Yes.
They have this need to have access, and the ADA provides all these requirements as far as how do you accommodate them.
Yeah, and we have places like GSAT, right? And you were one of the folks that was involved in GSAT too as well?
That's correct. I actually was one of the staff that got the grant for that.
Oh, wow. So, and over there too, right? They have a lot of equipment, right? So,
that's correct. They do. They even have a demo house.
Right.
And, and they also have assistive technologies you can try out and take a loan from.
All right. So we'll be right back. We're going on another break. You're listening to 93.3 The Point. This is Veterans with Benefits, and we'll be right back.
Boss 104, The Point, Star 101, and Lotte Hotel Guam present the 2025 Island Wedding Expo. Mark the date, Saturday, June 14th. Join us as we showcase an abundance of elegant choices for your special day. Table spaces are now available, but hurry, they're filling up. If you're a business that caters to all things weddings, from coordinators, florists, cakes, photographers, and more, call 888-7346 and connect with Doris, Shanzi, Daryl, or Michelle. For more information about the 2025 Island Wedding Expo, call 888-RDIO, 888-7346.
The I Love Me a Nissan Spring Sales event is on now at Nissan Guam. Score discounts up to $8,000 off, up to $1,000 cash back, and models starting as low as $159 a paycheck. Financing is easy. Get pre-qualified in just minutes at NissanGuam.com. First-time buyers welcome. The only thing you'll love more than your new Nissan is the savings you'll get. Visit Nissan Guam today on approved credit. Doc fees not included. Terms and conditions apply.
Then we'll get it. Hello, and we're back. So we're here on 93.3, The Point. I'm Anthony Tyron, and this is Veteran with Benefits, and I have our in-studio guest is Ben Servino. Before we get back to him, I just wanted to remind everyone we have the golf tournament coming up May 24th at Sono Felice, the old Talafofo Golf Resort. Reach out to HMI. Send us an email at veterans.hmiguam@gmail.com. Call us at 671-682-7631 and get signed up. We're looking to get some money to continue to help our veterans with their claims, continue to have our boot camps. We don't get any grant funding. We did not receive anything from GITA. So, you know, we're out here looking at raising funds. That's why we keep doing what we're doing. We're looking at other avenues and working with our front office to see how we can't, you know, become a little bit more self-sufficient. So we ask you all to come out and help. And those veterans that have received some help, you know, come back and take care of our other veterans that are left behind. So we got that coming up. We have our boot camps coming up next month. We have our golf ball drop. So you have more than one way to contribute. So reach out and let's take care of that. For those of you listening out there, if I couldn't capture you on the social media, we appreciate you listening and we want you to keep listening. If you have any questions that you'd like for us to cover next time, send us a message on the email or the phone number provided. So back to our guest in studio, Mr. Ben Servino. He wanted to talk a little bit more about more of the things that he offers with his new accessible van transportation services. Go ahead, sir.
Thank you. You know, before I do that, I'd like to respond to your questions about grants, you know,
Yes.
for building owners that have barriers to access. There's actually a tax credit that building owners can take. If they want to address the barrier and make their building more accessible, they can do that. Even buildings that were constructed 20 years ago. To eliminate the barrier, and they want to put ramps, they want to put an elevator, they can, or a lift, they can actually write it off in their taxes and take it as a tax credit, up to $50,000. It's all under the IRS code.
Under 50,000,
Yeah,
up to 50,000.
Up to 50,000.
Oh,
yeah.
wow.
So there are these tax credits, and they can talk to their accountant. They can actually can even go into the website www.ada.gov because everything's in there.
That's awesome. That's great. That's great information. And you know, when we talk about individuals with disabilities, that applies to veterans as well.
Absolutely.
So that helps, you know, our disabled veterans and just the disabled community at large. And do you know if that's 50,000 a year?
Yes. It's
Oh,
up to
wow.
50,000 a year.
So we could. So we got to talk to the tax attorneys or tax people and
if you go into the website, it'll actually give you more details.
And that helps, right? Because now it doesn't, you know, because none of this getting them to be in compliance is punitive. It's never designed for that. It's just designed for them to come into compliance,
And
right?
have equal access for
Right.
everybody.
Yeah.
you know?
So you're not going to go out there and say, hey, we're going to, you know, slam a hefty fine in you for the purposes of doing that. We have to educate you and get you to come into compliance. That's the main thing. So that's important because it starts to feel like a team effort rather than we're just picking on you.
Right.
You know what I mean? And that's the way and I think that's even what we discussed on the way over here. Hey, we're not doing this to point at people or say, hey, you didn't do this or you didn't do that. It's like, this is what it's supposed to be, and try to get to it, and we just explain how they can get to it. A 50,000 grant through their tax credits, right, that they're able to take advantage of. Okay.
It's not a grant, but a tax credit. When
Tax
they do
credit,
their taxes, they just write it off.
Very good. I appreciate that.
So going back to the advantages of using AVTS, like I said earlier, we're 24/7.
Yes.
24 hours a day, 7
Wow.
days a week, even on holidays and weekends. And our targeted clients include veterans, their dependents, the elderly, the wards of the Office of the Public Guardian, students, tourists. We also have dialysis patients that we take around. And, they have personal care attendants or family members that want to ride on the van. There's no additional fee.
So for the dialysis patients, if you don't mind, they have to pay out of pocket for that?
Yes.
Okay.
All our because we are a private company,
right?
We don't get any subsidies from
the
government like GRTA does,
right?
Or the elderly programs, senior citizen programs, because they get funding,
right?
And they contract with them. We are a private company, and a small company, but we're planning on growing. Okay. We plan on expanding our business, not only in Guam. We want to reach out to CNMI, Palau, the outer islands.
Yes,
absolutely.
Very good.
That's why it's called avtsguam.com, because we say AVTS Saipan or it's AVTS Palau, .com. So we want to expand.
Very
and,
good.
We're working on every time we go and identify places that are accessible, we're working on a resource directory so we can provide that for tourists that are coming to Guam.
Right.
They're always talking about how do we regenerate, again, the tourism industry. Yeah. People forget there are a lot of tourists that want to come to Guam. They have family members in wheelchairs.
Yes.
And when they come, they bring their whole family. How do you accommodate them?
Right. So and we want to make it more family friendly and accessible so that doesn't become, we can't go because there's no accessibility, right? Now we include that, and they can say, hey, if we come there, they also have a service for us.
Yeah, GVB should be marketing that. Marketing Guam is the most accessible island to go to,
Hey, there you go.
And then we can get more tourism build up here in Guam.
And who's over there in charge these days? Is it Regine Bisco-Lee? Is that who's our GVB president, right? Or
that's great.
Yes, okay.
So I want to let you know we only hire veterans that possess a chauffeur's license.
Okay.
So now that we've got the contract for the Guam Veterans Transportation Services, we're looking at hiring more drivers. So we need veterans with chauffeur's license. And then we provide the training, the disability awareness training, the securement, the CPR, and all that stuff that they need.
So since we were talking about tax credits, did you know that there's a tax credit for hiring veterans as well?
I was made aware of that.
All right.
Yeah.
So what that means is you're sharing tax credits for, being accessible. And then here on this program, we're sharing that because you're hiring veterans, there's a tax credit for you as well. So
yeah, and I just met with PHRS. They're working with me on addressing that because even the apprenticeship program.
Was that Joe Connolly?
Actually, I'm working with Vince Leon Guerrero.
Okay.
And Jess Torres. So, we're expanding and reaching out to the community.
That's awesome. Yes, sir.
I have a quick question, maybe a couple of questions here that are kind of related. You talked about being connected to the Veteran Transport Service. Is that what it's called?
Guam Veterans Transportation Service.
Right. So is that a service that a veteran can call the Guam Veterans Transportation Service and then they connect with you as far as communications, or is that funded for a veteran to be able to use your services through the funding of the Guam Veteran Transportation Service?
Well, my understanding is as soon as they're registered with CBOC, they can actually call this number, 671-475-5833, and they would make the arrangements. It's, again, a VA medical appointment that's been authorized, and then they connect with us to schedule the appointment and pick them up. and then we bill the VA for the service at the end of the month.
Very
so
good.
they don't have to pay.
Yeah, because I know a lot of these services for VAs. We're on the understanding that a lot of them do have challenges with payments and being able to afford these kind of services. As well, does somebody need to, even if they are not veteran, and they just want to avail of your services, do they need to be registered with you first, or are you almost like a car service?
They can just contact us either through email at I'm going to look at my email here, avtsguam@gmail.com.
And then,
or they can call us at 671-898-8695. Or they can actually go into our website at www.avtsguam.com, and they can request for a pickup. And we can do it within an hour. You know, that's the advantage of working with us. You don't have to wait 1 month later or 1 week later. We can. We've had passengers that call and we pick them up from the hospital at 10:30 at night because they're being discharged, and we transport them home. And a lot of times when they get discharged from the hospital, they don't have a wheelchair because they were brought in by an ambulance. So each of our vans have wheelchairs, so we'd be able to accommodate them and use our wheelchairs to pick them up.
My last question and comment, it has to do with your services. I see here, I recognize this person on your flyer, Marlon, right?
Yes.
Name, very good, great guy. And I know that he is really mobile around the island doing different things. So your service also includes non-emergency, non-medical services, like if someone needs to get to, let's say they're going to school and they need a way to, like say UOG or GCC. Is that something that you provide?
We pick up people, take them to the airport. We pick them. We pick up people, take them to the mall, to the bank, to
go shopping with them.
Absolutely. You know what's so gratifying is when we pick up a passenger that says, "I need to attend my mother's funeral."
Oh wow!
And I can't because there's no transportation. We pick them up. We follow them all the way to the church. Pick them up, take them to the cemetery, and it's so gratifying to see that they are able to be included and have access to attend these types of functions.
Well, thank you very much.
Take them to the fiesta.
Yeah, and by the way, it says it on here on your thing, non-emergency medical transportation,
That's
right?
correct.
So that's what kind of like why he can do anything. Right? But you're also able to do from the Veterans Affairs standpoint once they schedule it in, right? But that's something that's done through the VA.
Right.
Okay.
And it's got to be an authorized VA medical appointment.
All right. Yeah, that's great stuff. So, man, it was really great having you here. Is there anything else you needed to touch on? We're about to close out. That's why.
I just want to make it clear that we're not providing the service with the Guam Veterans Transportation Service right now.
Okay.
We probably be set up for a couple of weeks or so. Yeah. I still need to work out the logistics with them.
Yeah, and I think and that's usually the case with the VA, right? This is not today they send you something and tomorrow you're doing it. There's a whole process.
There's a whole protocol,
right?
And logistical process that we need to work out.
And it's just good knowing that this is available to us. So
absolutely.
Anyway, you want to say hello to somebody before we jump off?
Sure, I want to say hello to my wife, Martha. She's probably watching right now on the TV.
All right, awesome. Man, we want to thank you for coming in. We want to thank our producer, Jose, for doing this. This was 93.3. This is the Veterans with Benefits show. I'm Anthony Tyron. Thank you all for listening. We're going to be back next week, so listen in and call us and let us know what you might need. All right, have a good one.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The Point is KUSG, Hagåtña, Guam, 93.3 FM and 104.3 HD3.
Valentine, Fox News. A breakthrough in the trade talks between the U.S. and China. Fox's Jonathan Savage.
Trade taxes will be slashed as a result of this deal between the United States and China. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent says it starts with a 90-day pause and a substantial drop in the levels of reciprocal tariffs.
Both sides on the reciprocal tariffs will move their tariffs down 115%.
The trade war between Washington and Beijing has disrupted the global economy and upset financial markets. Speaking in Geneva, Switzerland, Secretary Bessent